What's good, y'all? You dub back here at the tail end, the end game of 2019. I'm thinking about 2020, boys, ladies and gentlemen. Good times. This channel, the older I get, my direction, you could say I do a lot of things because that's what I like to do. I like both entertainment. I also like to drop knowledgeable videos, and I'm learning as I grow from failures, from things that weren't successful, from people who are much more successful than myself, entrepreneurs and otherwise, business folk, and just different ones. And I want to help provide guidance and knowledge that I've gained in my time, to be able to help people. And hopefully the word goes out. But I listen to a lot of different stuff. Believe, some people like, oh, you think you know it? No, no, bro. Believe it or not, a lot of times I'm listening. I barely speak as much as I'm constantly absorbing a lot of different knowledge. Now, I don't mean I agree with everything. Don't get it twisted. But what it does mean is that I'm taking from a bunch of different avenues and areas and looking, because my mentality is the Jeopardy mentality. Excuse me. That you never know what you never know something or someone that you're going to meet and what you're going to need later on down the line. You may need some form of knowledge, and that'll give you a connection to somebody else. Or something later on down the line you never think was important. Bam, you get yourself in a situation, or bam, there's an opportunity there for you. And you just walk through that open door, hopefully, you know. And it may not be immediate, it may be 5, 10, 20 years down the line. You never know. So, also it may, who you know, maybe you meet your potential love of your life that way. Or you may meet a potential business partner. You may get your dream career because you were knowledgeable in an area, maybe completely unrelated, but at least your conversation is like, bro, this is what I do. Oh, I do, I'm aspiring to do this. Really? I need someone of your caliber and skill set. Never know. May get clients that way. You have good rapport, and they're like, I like you. I'm going to support your endeavor, even if I don't want to. You go into business with you. You know what? Let me go ahead and buy some products with you because you have great, rapport with people. So, modern business models. Okay, a lot of people. You got to understand, to be successful. What does it mean to be successful? That's a whole other topic of discussion. But keep that in mind. What does it mean, not just to be successful, but what does it mean to be successful for you? Okay? Because not everybody wants the same game. That's why I'm giving y'all different business models. Because a lot of times you'll hear people, they're like, this is the way to success. Yes. But not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody has that same desire. Some people just want the 2-story house, wife, and or husband and a couple kids, and to be comfortable. Other people are ambitious and they want to be a multi-millionaire or multi-billionaire, right? They want to create that. But not everybody wants that stressful life. Some people want to become a successful and eventually lead into politics or the judiciary or whatever the case may be, right? Some people, they just want like something to work hard with these hands and build something with their hands. They don't want too many other people, no, too many hands in the cookie jar. No, no, no. They don't want to be an administrator over a bunch of people. They don't want that. But they want to build something of value, something that can bring in the bacon, all right? Something they don't want to slave away. So, types of businesses. We're going to keep this video relatively short because this is just a crash course introductory. If you want me to talk more about this, I probably mentioned this at the end of the video. If you want me to talk more about each and every one of these or other aspects of economics, please let me know. We shall go over that. First up, mom pop shops, right? We heard that growing up. So what does that actually mean? It is not what people think it is. A lot of people want to hold economies back because of this small scale thinking. Oh, the loss of the mom and pop shops. Now, I think there's a place for mom and pop shops that just includes, for example, family restaurants. All right. There will be something later on down the line you'll be like, wait a second. Doesn't that contradict what you're saying with family restaurants? No, I'll explain that later. But family restaurants, when I say mom and pop shops, just either hole in the wall, just small scale things. Doesn't mean that they can't gross in millions of dollars. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the scope. Okay, a food market there, right? Hole in the wall bar. Okay, a family farm. See what I'm saying? They're not looking to expand. They may pass it on to family, or they keep it close knit. Usually don't have many employees, things of that nature. Mom and pop shops. There's nothing wrong with that. I think those are the one of the two essential backbones to any economy. You need those. You need that level of small time competition. It gives, opportunities to all kinds of folks. It gives people opportunities to be entrepreneurs. That's where a lot of people start. They start small, okay? They don't start big. But understand, mom and pop shops, if you're looking to be super wealthy, this is not for you. If you're looking to get into the game with little expertise, this is the path I would suggest going. Don't try to think you're going to be big if you have not grinded for years upon years or in a system that can get you there. Don't think. But also, if this is the path you're going, don't expect massive growth gains. Don't expect to be Bill Gates money, all right? I'm keeping it real for the people with expectations. If you want an easy in, mom and pop shop. But you only have a certain amount of threshold, and there's a reason as to why economics works. That's just how it works. Basic principle, first and foremost, supply and demand. You can only supply so much, and there's only demand so much, so your profit margins will be relatively low in comparison to some of these other business models. But it's not a bad one, and it's necessary. But some people, that's all they can handle. That's it. They don't want, they cannot manage. And you see too many times, oh, I was successful in my mom and pop shop. I was successful at this little restaurant I did, at this little dispensary that I did. If you're talking cannabis, I was successful at this. But don't realize when you deal with expansion, you're coming into a whole different animal. It takes a whole different skill set. Okay? Moving on to number 2, self-employed. This is the other backbone. You need these people. My first jobs before I moved, okay? When my hometown, all I was able to get jobs with were people who were self-employed. Now, here's the thing. There was one restaurant that did it. It was kind of between self-employed mom and pop, but regardless of that, I got hired because of connections. So that one put aside. Other than that, people who made businesses, landscaping, lawn maintenance, general contracting, there are plumbers, there are carpenters, a lot of labor jobs, are self-employed. They may have a crew that works under them, maybe, but a lot of them are hands-on. These men and women who are in these fields, bakers who open up a bakery and maybe they have 3 or 4 other employees at best. Feel what I'm saying? They have helpers, they have assistants, but they themselves are in there 5 to 7 days a week grinding. These are your realtors, okay? These are a lot of people in the S quadrant, okay? So pretty self-explanatory. But again, if you're looking for big profit margins, this may be a little higher than the mom and pop, but you're not going to be making Jeff Bezos money. That's not how, no, you're not going to be making LeBron James money. That's just not going to work. That's not how this happens, okay? Why? Because you personally can only do so much. But here's the caveat. Here's the caveat. If you're an artist and you deal in royalties, that's where you can make it. Why? Because that caveat deals with what we call, seemingly perpetual income. It can continuously generate compound effect. That's the only way you can be self-employed, a self-made person, and make Jay-Z money. But then again, Jay-Z has a plenty of other businesses. He only made so much as a rapper. So keep that in mind. You will have good success, but you won't have the greatest financial success. Doesn't make it bad. And it's not that I'm opposed to it. Okay? Just letting you know. It's a good way to get in the door. But understand this, it is very difficult to get to those upper echelons of wealth if that is what you're after. 3, franchising. Now, understand that franchises are a modern phenomenon. And when I say that, the last 60 or so years, Ray Kroc, when you're talking about Sam Davis, when you talk about Wendy's, McDonald's, Walmart, all that stuff, right? That was a modern phenomenon. No one had done it before these gentlemen. Now you could say that there was early attempts, maybe a little bit like Ford and stuff, but it was different at the late 19th century and the early 20th century. But franchising, where you give individuals an opportunity to own and run a business, but they're connected with a bigger brand. Okay, franchising is a great way to start making the buku bucks. All right, this is where we now can see the generation. Why? Scope, span. Okay, 8, 10, 20, 40, 60, 100, 200, 500. Okay, that. But the thing is, you're not likely going to make the most. The beautiful thing about franchising is it's kind of on each individual franchise. Depending on how each individual franchise is run, it won't take down the brand like it's the Titanic. So it gets you a great amount of money. This is why franchises are so great. They get you a great amount of money, but it cuts some of the cost because you have individual investors coming in, individual businessmen, and they run a very streamlined organization, kind of like Starbucks and stuff. So that's what we got there. Fourth, corporate. Now, corporate and franchising, a lot of times it's kind of because in some places it will have a corporate run, some places will have a franchise. Corporate is one of the biggest ways to make the most money. The problem with corporate is it becomes a leviathan, it becomes a behemoth, and there's so much overhead, so much cost. It's a double-edged sword from hell. You can make stupid amounts of money, but you can also be dishing out and tolling out so much cost. Also, they're so large that you need great administrative skills, and you're probably going to have to delegate a hell of a lot. So if you're not into that life, do not go for the corporate route. Also, if you're trying to come up through the corporate ladder and chain, it's a very small avenue and window that you will get to those highest levels if you're coming up from the bottom and working in corporate. Okay. Coming in at number five, marketing. Now, this some can say is weird. You need marketing in all business, yes. But there are specific marketing. Online marketing is one of the biggest ones that I'm talking about. When I say marketing in this business model, you have a product, more so a product based rather than service based, I would say. You have a product that you see all over Facebook, you see huge with ads and stuff. There's not too much. There are not too many people involved with this. Marketing that goes with corporate, yeah, they'll run you ads and whatever to bring you in. But this marketing, literally, the entire business is based on marketing your product and getting that thing and dealing in sales. This is pretty much solely sales, okay? Sales of any kind. That's why I said online marketing, okay? This is just sales, 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 and it's about the sales. It's a roller coaster, babe. It's a roller coaster, y'all. Like you can make great money, but you can also hit a dry spell. So the only thing is, if you want more stability, go with some of these other ones. If you want the opportunity to make it big and make it quick, boom. It's a grand gamble. If you're a huge gambler and if you're this is where you get, unfortunately, you get your con men, like when you deal with brokers and hedge funds and things like that. This is that kind of thing. It's that we can make that fast money. And each of these, honestly, you can think of street life. If and I'll give an example of each. So if you understand the dope game and stuff, people are like, oh, are you promoting narcotics? Hell no. But it's how the streets are. Besides monopoly, in economics class, the streets help teach me business. Honestly, was I ever involved with things? No, and I'm not going to incriminate myself by even saying that nonsense. What I'm saying is, for some of y'all that come from certain necks of the woods or grew up with folk, the streets can help you train you. Just take that knowledge you gain from the streets, like Ti said, or what's King's back Ti song. Use the knowledge you gain while fighting for survival in the streets. That kind of okay. Six, networking, network marketing. You hear that? But networking, meeting people, building relationships, finding clients, boom, boom, being on the go. Sales are part of it, but networking, building an organization, and the compound effect by that. things like Amway, certain Amway, organizations build like that, and they because you attract and because you bring in people to produce great sales, companies like Amway will bless you, will give you bonuses and rewards, and you have many millionaires, multi-millionaires in some case, you know, through this way. It is not much overhead, not much stuff, but you've got to go through a process. You got to be vetted. You gotta keep grinding, bro. I mean, all of these you got to keep grinding, but you've got to be willing to grind. You can make extraordinary amounts of money, but you've got to be dedicated. Period. And that's the downside. If you are not looking to be, if you only looking to part time, you're not gonna make it with networking. It's not gonna happen. All of these you really need to be dedicated, but I mean you gotta be really, really dedicated to make them buku bucks. You're gonna have to be out there making contacts, meeting people, being there for people, meetings on your side grind becomes your main grind. It's tough business, lucrative but tough. And finally, last but not least, legacy. This goes back to what I said with Mom and Pasha. You was like, but wait a second, didn't you say family business? Yes, you can pass on legacy business, building something perpetually. Now, how would I describe a legacy business? You don't really see them, and this, amongst other things, I think is the next step towards economic evolution, toward or getting us towards real economics. But building an entity that you can pass on generation, beginning generational wealth that's not dependent on you. Okay. What Conor McGregor's trying to do with his Proper 12, for example, that he could probably pass on to his son if his son would, be able to handle that, right? What Donald Trump has done with his, okay, what J.P. Morgan had built, what John D. Rockefeller had built, okay, those are legacy companies. Those will sustain and last through the test of time, and you can pass those along for generation upon generation because they either have developed an entire industry or their infrastructure is so well ingrained that someone else can take up the reins. Okay. And the legacy is probably the most lucrative in the long run. It's just, it takes a long time to build something to be that great. It's, if you will. All right. Now I'll give examples of each of these from the streets. Mom and pop. Think of the nickel and dimer. All right, the nickel and dime when it comes to, if you're talking about yay, crack, whatever. That guy that's selling a little bit, or that guy like, bro, I got a little something for you. I was like, you see this watch, bro? You see this watch? Small scale stuff, right? Petty crime. Self-employed. These are the dudes who, they're the middlemen. They're there to, bro, I can connect you. Or these are the guys who are the pilots, who fly whatever over, or the boat guys. These are the ones that you usually doing better. You see how this works. Okay, when I use the street examples, you see the more lucrative franchising. All right, these are the dudes who have a lot of people working for him. He's a gang leader, right? He's a shot caller. He's a president of an outlaw MC, a motorcycle club. All right, he's bringing in good amounts of money. He has foot soldiers, right? He has people who are independently working. Let's say he's not a drug lord, but a guy who's got a lot of people out on the street. He got like 20 guys working for him, right? They sell him. They give him a cut. He makes good amount of money, right? And it's more sustainable because, okay, let's see, 2 or 3 guys get busted. He's still got 17, 18 guys, right? Now you'll say that sounds like networking. Kind of is, but I mean that's kind of how franchises work. You could have franchises go down, but you still have 6, 7, 8 other ones or 200 other ones. You can lose those. It hurts you, but you still got those other ones to fall back on, and maybe you pour your resources more into those and make those more successful, so they bring you more wealth. You keep hear me say wealth, not riches. Next up, corporate. Corporate. I mean, this is your white collar crime, dude. This is fraud and embezzlement. Period. Marketing. Marketing. You don't really see marketing so much in criminal, but I would think probably hackers, your hacker types, guys who are on the web, guys who work with the deep web, who are off the books, things like that. So there's that. Networking. This is, you know, kind of on some Ocean 11 status, Ocean 12, 13, Ocean 8, where they know people who have different types of skills and they come together, bada bing, bada boom, we do something big, we each get our cut. Okay? And finally, legacy. The Godfather, the mafia, the mob, any organized crime. That's why you see people come up. That's why you can see generation after generation come up because they've built an organization that runs regardless of who's at the head. As long as the leadership it ain't trash. Unexpected one, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me if you want any more of this kind of content. If you would further want me to give you examples and a breakdown of each of these, because I love talking about this stuff. I do love talking about economics and business. It's become, I want to say, a passion of mine, but something I'm hugely interested in. In fact, as I'm recording this last night, I was talking with a guy, and he kind of wanted to end the conversation because I could tell it was not going where he was anticipating, and he was just out there having fun, which is cool. But this is not for everybody. All right. But if you want to gain that knowledge or you want to see, what kind of business or career path you can go in, we can talk about that as well. We could talk about different types of industries and stuff to consider, and maybe I'll give you a different perspective. For example, you might have like, haha, laugh at the fashion industry, but not realize it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and there's a reason for that. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace. Stay warm and stay safe out there.